Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home. Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive, and I have an awesome guest here for us today. I'm really excited about her. Before I introduce her, I want to just say, if you haven't come over to the Heal Your Hunger Tribe on Facebook, you must please join us at the Heal Your Hunger Tribe. Just go to Facebook and type in Heal Your Hunger Tribe and then join us there. If you struggle with food and weight in any way, shape, or form, you've got to be there in the tribe. And I have special guests there, and I have amazing little tidbits of information and fun things going on and prizes, and just join me there. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll be glad you did. And you got to be with your tribe, guys. Be with your tribe. People who understand what it's like to be powerless over a Twinkie. Oh my God. What is that? So anyway, you'll have a lot of fun, and I just want to support you in every way possible. So my guest today is the amazing Emily Fletcher, who is the founder of Ziva and the Ziva Technique. And she's a leading expert in meditation for high performance. And welcome, Emily. Before I brag about you, I want to say hi.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. And it's so funny because I've wanted you to come on the show for a while, and finally reached out, and I had no idea you were like just coming out with your book just like imminently, and here we are. Your book is here, Stress Less, Accomplish More, published by HarperCollins. So congratulations on that amazing feat.
Thank you very, very much. It is a no small feat.
No, oh my gosh, I know. It really is an amazing thing, and I'm just excited that you're getting your message out even further into the world. And you're also a new mama.
Yes, which is why I'm recording in a closet. If you're watching this on video, thank you for your patience. I've got a crying baby in one room and some New York City construction in the other. And you know, it's New York, so here we are. We're making it work.
Yeah, it's a normal day, right?
Yeah. And my laptop's sitting on a stroller right now, hilariously.
I love it. Well, we just cleared out the excuse anybody might have been saying in their head was like, I can't meditate, I'm a mom. So clearly that's not true. And I just want to say that for those of you who are here, if you've been, following my work for any amount of time, I've talked about meditation and prayer and other centering, activities that can help you get in touch with your who you really are and your divine spirit, and really access that resource that can help you not emotionally eat. And so that's really why I'm so excited to have you here, Emily, is because this is such an important part of really being able to have a better relationship with food.
I agree.
Yeah. So you are amazing. You've been in so many different places. I mean, you've been featured in the New York Times and Today's Show, Vogue, and ABC, and you've gone everywhere, just talking to so many different audiences about meditation. And it's so important, such an important message. Tell me first, before we get into sort of the whys and the wherefores of meditation, how you personally came into this.
So I was on Broadway for 10 years before I found meditation, and my last show was a chorus line where I was understudying 3 of the lead roles, which means you have no idea which character you're going to play each night. So it's very stress-inducing. I ended up having really intense anxiety, which led to insomnia for 18 months. I started going gray at 26. I started getting sick and injured, and it was very confusing why I was living my dream, doing the thing I had wanted to do since I was a child, but I was miserable. And so I found meditation. It cured my insomnia on the first day. I slept through the night for the first time in 18 months, the first day of my first meditation class, and I've slept every night since. That was 11 years ago. I stopped going gray. I'm going to be 40 next month, and I have like 1 gray hair. I was legitimately going gray in my late 20s. I stopped getting sick. I did not get sick for 8.5 years. I stopped getting injured, but most importantly, I started enjoying my job again. My performance got so much better. And so I didn't understand why people didn't meditate. I was like, I really don't understand why everyone does not do this. So I left Broadway and I went to India and I started what became a 3-year training process to teach. And since graduating, I've taught 15,000 people. We have a center here in New York City. We teach in LA. We started the world's first online meditation training called Ziva Online. And as you said, my first book is coming out any day now. And I'm really so excited to get this message out into the hands of people. And really what I teach across all the platforms, the book, the live, the online, is all about using meditation as a performance tool, that we meditate to get good at life, not to get good at meditation. And so this idea of I don't have time to meditate, that's only if you're wasting your time when you're doing it. And if you have a technique that's designed for you, then you're actually going to get a return on your time investment. It's going to make you have more time in your day. You're going to get more done. Your sleep is going to be more efficient. You're going to feel better, look better. And so I really don't understand why people aren't doing this. I'm trying to make it as accessible as possible.
I love that. It is so true. Like I get more done because I meditate, in the day, and it's working smarter instead of harder.
Yes,
that's really what we're looking at here. So, and I will say regarding emotional eaters, I don't know if this is true for the entire human population, because I think people generally, thank goodness, nowadays have a general sense that meditation is good for you. It's not some woo-woo out there idea now. It's become a lot more mainstream. So I think it's more of an accepted concept in our culture, but it's not a practice concept,
Yes, that is exactly right. And this is exactly what you just said. Everyone knows they should be meditating. The science is in. The celebrities have outed themselves. The CEOs have outed themselves. We know we should be doing it. We're not doing it. Every single talk I give, I say, all right, I want you to raise your hand if you've ever tried meditation. 100% of the hands go up. And then I say, okay, how many of you guys have a daily practice? 90% of the hands go down. And this is bridging that gap is what this book is designed to do, because it's just, we have to reframe meditation from like a pedicure for your brain, like a luxury activity you're going to get around to when you have extra time, which is never, to thinking about it as the single most important piece of mental hygiene that you need to be practicing every day. You don't leave your house without brushing your teeth. Don't leave your house without cleaning your brain. It's rude.
Girl, I love that. And it's so true. I literally am afraid to drive my car if I haven't meditated in the morning. Like I pray, if I haven't meditated, like I'm like late for an appointment and I didn't meditate, I'm like, God, drive this car, because there's no telling what could happen.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I literally, it's like my head it's not even, I almost fell off a sailboat one time because I hadn't meditated and I went sailing. So it's like, I really don't trust myself. And I always find that, I'm sure you find this as well, but like, I don't know how much meditation is helping me unless I don't do it.
Yes.
Right?
I find that for a lot of people, because the thing is, when we meditate, we're looking for like a light switch. We want like the God, angels singing and the unicorns and the levitate. And we want it to be like, oh, I'm enlightened. But really, it's like a shedding of skin. It's just bit by bit, day by day, meditation by meditation. You're just getting a little smarter, a little happier, a little bit more efficient, a little bit less inflamed. But it's not really that dramatic of an up level. It's gradual. But then if you stop, you're like, woof, life gets really rough. And so I that's one of the things I teach my students, where it's like, hey, if and when you stop, which you're going to, there's going to be days, weeks, life is going to happen. You're going to not be a perfect meditator. And then your job is to check in. Do I like how I'm feeling? Do I like how I'm performing? Do I like my life circumstances when I'm not meditating? Or was life a little bit easier? Was I a little bit happier? Was I actually getting more done in less time when I was committing to this practice?
Yep. So I find people say, the time thing, of course, I don't have time to meditate. And my feeling is you don't have time not to meditate.
That's right.
You can't afford to not do it because the time you waste when your mind isn't clear. But also people are like, I want you to answer this. Oh, my head is too busy. Like as if they're the only ones, right?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. These are the two biggest obstacles to meditation. The busy piece, which we've kind of covered. We can go into more detail about why stress is making us stupid, sick, and slow in a minute. But this other misconception is I can't meditate because I can't clear my mind. My mind is too crazy. My thoughts are too fast. I think about work. I think about my ex. And the thing is, the brain The average person thinks like 70,000 thoughts a day. Okay. Whether you're a meditator or not, you're thinking that many thoughts. And so if you've ever tried meditation and felt like a failure, I want you to listen up, because this one fact really could change your meditation career and thus your life. And that is, the mind thinks involuntarily, just like the heart beats involuntarily. Right? So the mind thinks involuntarily, just like the heart beats involuntarily. So trying to give your brain a command to shut up is as impactful as trying to give your heart a command to stop beating. It does not work. And yet this is the criteria by which everyone is judging themselves as to whether or not they can meditate. Mm-hmm. And it makes me sad, because then people feel like failures and they quit, and they potentially rob themselves of a lifetime of more bliss and fulfillment because they're judging themselves based on misinformation. There's like one dude out there telling everyone that in order to meditate, we have to clear our minds, and we got to find him, and we got to teach him how to meditate.
So thank you. So it's not going to happen. Don't even think about it. So, I mean, I always find, I mean, tell us what is happening when we're meditating to our minds.
Well, it depends on what type of meditation you're doing. Okay. And this is really important, right? Because everything under the sun right now is called meditation. Meditation's so popular. It's like the number one new, I think it's the most popular new type of app. There's like thousands of meditation apps out there. Okay. There's millions of meditation YouTube videos out there. And look, that's all great. I like that there are people exploring these things. But what most of those apps and drop-in studios and YouTube videos are teaching are what I would call mindfulness. Right. So mindfulness is the art of bringing your awareness into the present moment. And we could all practice mindfulness right now. I could say, all right, let's do this. Let's just take a mindful breath. So close your eyes, inhale through your nose, and exhale through your mouth for the count of 4. Again, inhaling through the nose for 2, and exhaling through the mouth for 4. And one final time. And on this inhale, feel the breath as it enters the nostrils. And as you exhale through your mouth, actually feel the tactile sensation of that breath exiting your mouth. Really good. And opening the eyes. And so that was an example of a mindful breath. That was a moment of mindfulness. So when people are saying, you can meditate in one breath, you can meditate in 1 second, what they're actually saying is mindfulness. The art of bringing your awareness into the present moment, which is beautiful and necessary, especially in this technological day and age where we've all become, bulimic of the brain. We're just like intake. And so in meditation, and this is quite different than probably what most people have heard of or think about when they think about meditation, in the style that I teach at Ziva, you're actually giving your body rest, very deep healing rest that is 5 times deeper than sleep. And that's important because in mindfulness, you're dealing with your stress in the now. Oh, my boss yelled at me, so I did a 10-minute headspace and I feel better in the now, like taking an aspirin. At Ziva, we're all about giving you deep healing rest, which heals your stress from the past. All that stuff that we've been storing in our cellular memory, all that trauma that we have been holding on in our bodies, which I'm sure you guys talk about, It's like that stuff has to go somewhere. And so what we do in the meditation is we give the body rest, and then that lifetime of accumulated stress from our past can come up and out. And it is that eradication of past stresses that allows you to perform at the top of your game.
Okay. How long, what kind of meditation do you recommend?
So what we teach at Ziva is a trifecta of mindfulness, meditation, and manifesting, the 3 M's as we call it. So I recommend that people do use mindfulness, but that they understand that it's not the whole kit and caboodle. It's like, if you like a free app, a mindfulness app, then great. That's like a delicious glass of water. If you want to get in the ocean, then I recommend actually getting some meditation training. And the key here is being self-sufficient, like having a tool and a technique that you know how to do anywhere, anytime. So you can do it with your kids screaming in the next room, on a plane, in a lift, at your office with people around you, because there's never going to be 20 minutes of uninterrupted silence to meditate. There's just, even in the caves of the Himalayas, there's sound. Yeah. Right? I'm a meditation teacher, and I'm in a closet right now doing this podcast because of noises in my house. Yeah. So I recommend what we do is we start with the mindfulness, then we move into the meditation, and then we end with manifesting. And this is great for people dealing with body changes. If you have a way that you want to feel in your body, a relationship that you want with your body, you can use the time at the end of your meditation to manifest, which is simply consciously creating a life you love. It's you getting intentional about what you want your life to look like.
So is breathing, like, are we doing the meditation part of it? I mean, is that what's the middle M? You got mindfulness,
Meditation,
meditation.
and manifesting. Yep.
Okay. So the
And
meditation part, let's talk about the mechanics of that.
yeah. So when you're practicing Ziva meditation, like I said, you're giving your body rest that's 5 times deeper than sleep, and you're ushering yourself into a verifiable 4th state of consciousness. So different than waking, sleeping, or dreaming. And the right and left hemispheres of the brain are actually functioning in unison, which is cool because over time that increases neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to change itself, and it increases neurogenesis, which is the brain's ability to generate new brain cells. You also strengthen something called the corpus callosum, which is the thin white strip that connects the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And this matters because the left brain is in charge of individuality. The right brain is in charge of totality. And for most of us, if we've never had any training, and we've never invested the time to actually learn how to practice this very important skill, then all we have access to is our left brain waking state, right? And to your point, it's like, well, I don't trust myself if I haven't meditated, because if all you have access to is your left brain, it's like having a really great laptop that's not connected to Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. And so when we start taking this right brain to the gym and meditation, it's like, yes, you have a great intellect, you have a great individuality brain, and now you're able to connect to Wi-Fi. You're able to tap into those creative problem-solving solutions. You're able to hear your own intuition. And that PS is not necessarily happening inside of the meditation. Sometimes it is. Oftentimes the meditation feels boring and annoying and stupid and you hate it. But afterwards, you've got that flow going on. Afterwards, you're smarter. Afterwards, your mind is more clear. Afterwards, you have a higher sex drive and more energy to go to the gym. But it's not necessarily about enjoying the meditation itself.
So, God, that's such an important point, because everybody's like sitting there like it's not happening, but I do find, and it's so funny use the analogy of the Wi-Fi, because my husband and I call it Wi-Fi, like we're like, we don't want to lose our Wi-Fi, like we talk about different things, or if I don't know what, like, or taking a supplement or something that kind of whacks you out physically, it's like sometimes it can interfere with my Wi-Fi, and that's really that intuition and that inspiration that's just flowing through us when our channel is clear from meditating.
Yes, I love that you call it that. I don't know anyone else that has. So we're kindred spirits in that way.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Now, does the Ziva meditation, is it breath focused or mantra focused, or what is it?
Yeah, we don't really focus on the breath too much. A lot of mindfulness techniques do. And the reason why people use the breath to sort of like as any type of a mindfulness tool is because your thoughts and your breathing are both body functions that are autonomic, and you can get your hands on the wheels a little bit. So you're going to breathe all day whether you're thinking about it or not. You're going to think all day whether you're controlling it or not. And we can manipulate both of those things. So in lots of mindfulness tools, and then like obviously in holotropic breath work or Kundalini yoga, you're using the breath as the vehicle to usher in a different state of consciousness or access a different mental state. We don't really focus too much on breathing at Ziva. Occasionally I'll do something like, at a corporate talk or something, or I'll give people just, if I need to change the state in a room, I might use breath as a tool, but it's not really what we teach. So we start with the mindfulness, we do something called come to your senses. And then the meditation portion, we do use something called a mantra. But that word mantra has been very hijacked by the wellness industry. It's not like a slogan, right? It's not like, I'm a strong, angry woman, or I want $1 million. Which was like what my first therapist said to me when I ever went to therapy. I sat on his couch with my big hair, my big lashes, and my pink dress. I was like 24 and Southern. And he goes, "Oh, you are a strong, angry woman." And I was like, "No, I'm not angry. I don't even feel anger." And I just had not really tapped into it. I didn't know how to access it.
That's so funny. Yeah. So it's not an affirmation. It's really, it's more of a way to really focus or still your mind. Is that what that is?
Well, we're not interested in focusing or stilling our minds. So the thing about Ziva is that I invite everyone to take everything they've ever heard about meditation and throw it out the window, because focusing actually means denying what is. And while a byproduct of meditation is being more focused, more clear after the meditation, that's not happening during the practice itself. So sometimes we confuse the results for the process.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like going to have sex with someone and being like, all right, let's orgasm. It's like, you just like go in and like go for the results right away, instead of like, oh, well, maybe we'll lie here and kiss a minute, or like look into each other's eyes. It's like, there's a process that leads to a result.
Gotcha.
And sometimes in meditation, we look for the results as the process.
So tell me about the mantra, how that's useful.
Yeah, so mantra is a Sanskrit word. Man means mind and trut means vehicle. So these are mind vehicles, and they are custom designed to take you from active layers of left brain thinking down into more subtle layers of right brain being. And they act almost like as anchors. And so it's not about focusing, it's not about clearing the mind. They're actually sort of paradoxically forgetting devices. And so if people are like, oh, I've tried to meditate, but I couldn't remember, it's like, that's okay. It's not, the point is not to sit and focus on something for an amount of time.
And then, so the real goal, what would you say is during the meditation, how do we want to be?
So I'd say the goal of meditation is to get good at life, really, truly. And I'm not meant to be flipped there, but if you start giving people criteria for how they think they should be in the meditation, then they're going to try and control it with their left brain and go in with some agenda. And especially if you don't have any training or any tools, then that's just always going to feel like failing and frustrating.
Which I think is really an important point, because I find that people don't meditate because they judge it and they think they're doing it wrong, and then they're like, screw it, like they think if they're thinking during their meditation, they're doing it wrong. So I love that you said that. And
just to frame how silly that is, imagine we were going to say, okay, tomorrow, you guys, we're going to do a 20-day Japanese challenge. And for 20 minutes a day, we're going to speak Japanese. And then about 3 minutes into your Japanese challenge, you're like, oh, wait, I don't know how to speak Japanese. I've never been trained. I've never learned this language. Why on earth would I commit to a 20-day Japanese challenge? And yet we're all just like, oh, well, I'll just meditate because it's simple. We assume we should already know how to do it, but it really is a skill, you guys. And yes, it's simple, but we don't want to confuse simplicity for weakness. And when people are like, oh, well, I don't have time to learn to meditate, it's like, this is your brain. It is responsible for every cell in your body, and it is responsible for every decision that you make. So if you're not spending time training your brain, what else are you doing with your day?
Yeah. And it's like you have time for Facebook and news, right?
Like the news, which is just like firing up our amygdala.
Yeah.
Just throwing us into fight or flight all day.
Exactly. So I love that. So, by the way, before we finish, I want to get back to the understudy thing. I have a question about that. So before it's coming at the end, I'm going to ask you about that.
I'm excited.
So is there a certain amount of time that you recommend people meditate?
Yes. So I would say if you don't have any training yet, I would recommend meditating for 0 minutes, just because, again, it's just going to feel like you're failing, and then you're going to be much less likely to ever come to it in earnest. Mm-hmm. What I do in Ziva Online, which is our 15-day online training, is that we build people up. So we start with 5, then we go to 7, then we go to 10, and ultimately people graduate with a self-sufficient practice of 15 minutes twice a day. And I recommend, first thing in the morning, and then the second one in that mid-afternoon slump where you would have had the coffee or the chocolate or the nap, or you start, scrolling through Facebook mindlessly or eating mindlessly or drinking wine, or, any of the things we do to zone out because we get into actually focus fatigue. The meditation can help with so many of it. It's like it puts you back in the driver's seat of your life.
So true. I find, I do get an energy slump, and it's when I used to eat. I mean, it's like, oh, I'm really having trouble getting through this day. Let me get a pick me up. And now my meditation is, I'm like, okay, I'll meditate, and it totally picks me up. Like it re-energizes me.
It's like this sustainable form of energy and joy. And then, you may want the coffee, you may want the nap, but likely you won't after you do that meditation. You may not want that chocolate anymore.
That's beautiful. So talk to me about your book. Now the book teaches your technique.
It does. So the book is called Stress Less, Accomplish More, which I love that because the promise is in the title. And like, who doesn't want to stress less and accomplish more? And it speaks to this idea that stress is making us stupid, sick, and slow. Stress is keeping us from showing up as the most amazing version of ourselves. And so part one looks at all the quote unquote selfish reasons that we would come to a practice, like why it's going to help you have better sex, why it's going to help you make more money, why it's going to improve your sleep, how it boosts your immune system, how it reverses your body age by up to 8 years. And it looks at the neuroscience behind all of those benefits of meditation. And then in part two, I actually teach a technique, and it's a gentler version of the Ziva technique, but you do learn mindfulness, meditation, and manifesting. You're given a mantra. You're taught how to deal with the emotional and physical detox that can happen as a result of it. And then in part three of the book, we pull the lens back and we start to look at the ripple effect of this. You know, how does you improving your life impact your relationship? How does that impact your family? How does that impact your coworkers, your office, and then ultimately humanity itself? You know, if we think like, oh, the world is crazy, the world is stressed, it's like, okay, well, are you stressed? Are you busy? Are you crazy? Because if you are not healing yourself, then you're contributing to that fear. You're contributing to that global stress. But as you heal yourself, you help to heal the collective.
Beautiful. Oh, I love that. And this is really for emotional eaters listening here. This is so important. Like I mean, to me, the number one benefit I've gotten so many benefits. Meditation has changed my life, but the number one benefit is I could not overeat if I didn't meditate. Like I wouldn't have a snowball's chance in hell.
Well, I have to say one thing, and I haven't really talked about this publicly too much, but, I was a model when I was younger. When I was like 15, I moved to New York, and then I was on Broadway for 10 years, and I was a dancer, and so always in front of mirrors and leotards and tights. And my joke is I didn't have an eating disorder, but I didn't not have an eating disorder. It was it was true. This like constant math equation in my brain of like, oh, well, I worked out so I can eat this, or this is going to make me look good or not look good. And it was just this constant struggle going on in my brain every time I ate anything. And it wasn't until a few years after I started meditating that I realized that was gone. And it wasn't even, it just sort of fell away. And it wasn't until like someone sent something to me, or I was in a situation that would have previously been very upsetting to me if someone had commented on my eating habits, and there was just nothing there. Just the trigger was gone. And I realized that was a result of meditation, and it's just something I don't really talk about. So I wanted to share that. And a lot of my students report that, their relationship with drinking, their relationship with coffee, their relationship with sugar, like any of that stuff that we're reaching to externally to make us happy or to fill us up, none of that is going to be a substitute for finding your own fulfillment in the only place that it lives, which is inside of you. And that to me is the most beautiful benefit of this practice, because when you practice, you're flooding your own brain and body with dopamine and serotonin, which are bliss chemicals. And so when you do that, it's like you come out of the meditation and you're no longer under the illusion that any person, place, thing, or substance is going to fill you up, because you already feel fulfilled.
I love that. It's so beautiful, Emily. I was talking to somebody yesterday who she's like, oh, I'm just so confused. Like I've done this diet and that, I've eaten keto, and then I've done paleo, and then I've done this and I've done that. And I just, I get confused and nothing works for any length of time. And how do you know what diet? And I said, how long have you been doing this? And she's like, how long have you been on this yo-yo, of trying different diets and struggling with your weight? She said, well, I'm 60, and I'd say about, a little over 40 years. And
oh my gosh.
Right. And I said, well, don't you think you have enough nutritional information by now? Like, don't you think you've read enough books and watched enough, courses or whatever? I said, the thing that you're missing is listening to you. It's like, you need to slow down and check in and hear what your body has to say, and your spirit, and what really is right for you, because she just keeps looking for somebody to tell her what to eat. And you can't, there's no such thing. Like our bodies are so unique. And the biggest thing I feel like people need, it's not nutritional information, is to slow down and start tuning in to that divine wisdom. And meditation is the number one way to do that.
I agree. Preach it, sister.
Yeah. So, well, this is great. And your book, this recording is coming out right in aligned with the opportunity for people to buy the book. So it's available now. If you're listening, it's available now. Go buy it. I'm presuming it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere books are sold. And if you're listening to this before the 23rd, you can actually go to stresslessthebook.com, and we've got like $325 worth of companion bonus audios, the first 3 days of my online course, a PDF, like day in the life guide of, my sort of exercise and meditation routines. Not that it's there to tell you what to do, but it's just a window into one person's journey.
It's so beautiful. And yeah, you can go to the show notes and click that, click there, and you can access all that bonus information. So that is so super cool. So a couple more questions for you. I am going to come back to the understudy thing.
Okay.
Because I'm always curious about this, because I have a season's pass to the Pantages here in Los Angeles. So I go to lots of musicals and I just love them. They're so enjoyable, but I always feel so curious about the understudy thing. And when you said you had 3 different potential people you could replace, that is crazy town. Because I'm always like, how could one person, that must be so hard for the understudy to constantly keep up with what they need to say and what, the timing, everything. But 3, that's just too much.
It's too much. It is the thing that drove me to meditation. It is crazy town. And the thing about a chorus line, if anyone knows the show, wow, there's 17 characters and they all are singing the same songs, doing the same dances. But Sheila's on number 4, Val's on number 7, Judy's on number 2. Sheila starts on the right, Val starts on the left. Sheila does it 6 times, Val does it 4 times. So it's the same song, same lyrics, same choreography, but different side, different numbers, different directions. And it's really like a mental, like a Rubik's Cube in your brain. And it's not about even ingesting and knowing all of that. It's about being able to do it at a moment's notice under severe pressure with no preparation, with 2,000 people looking at you in a leotard and a downlight.
Oh my God. They just shouldn't do that. That's just bad.
It was so funny. One of the women that I understudied, she reached out to me a few years ago on Facebook to apologize because she was really young when I was understudying her. And she was the one that I always went on for. And she was the one that I was worst at. I was terrible at this character. And she apologized for putting me through that. And I was like, girl, because of you, I started a meditation empire. So thank you very much.
It was perfectly planned.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Emily. It's really been such a pleasure to have you here. I just wish you all the best in your book and success. And everybody, please join her program. Try this out. Do it. Stop thinking about it.
Yes.
Really start taking the action. And it is one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and consistent action. And you don't have to be great at it. You just have to do it.
Yeah, it really can help with everything. Intuitive eating, inflammation, intuition in general. I could talk about it all day, but I'm a big fan.
It's the Wi-Fi. You wouldn't get by without Wi-Fi. This is your internal Wi-Fi for sure.
That's right.
My last question for you, Emily, which I like to ask my guests, is this is the Heal Your Hunger show, of course. So what is your deepest hunger?
Well, at the moment, it's a New York Times bestseller from a book.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Great. Well, everybody, we can help Emily feed her deepest hunger, and that is to, get on that bestseller list. Number 1, New York Times bestseller. Let's help everybody stress less and accomplish more. So God bless you. Thank you so much, Emily. It's been such a pleasure.
God bless you too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.